Greetings, you of the tubes. Welcome back. I want to clear something up straight away at the start of this video. I misspoke last time. I had said that Dave was from Brazil, when actually he's from Portugal. The official language of Brazil is Portuguese. That's where my confusion came from. I had said that I'd been thinking about doing a playthrough, dev commentary sort of thing for a while now. And what I didn't mention is part of the motivation behind that was the fact that on a three-person team like this, that means there's only 3 people in the world who could actually do a dev commentary. You know, with Dave speaking Portuguese and Toadman being from Italy and speaking Italian, I was the only one of the 3 who could do it in English as their native tongue, so then I felt even more compelled to do a playthrough dev commentary. In any event, we are back. I boosted the gamma to make things a little more visible. It was a little dark last time. And I noticed a few things, you know, again, new to the whole Let's Play thing. I'm going to try to speak a bit slower. Last time I noticed I would speed up, especially when trying to read the Zon's journal, just because I was trying not to waste your time and get through it as quickly as possible, but then I was speaking too fast and mumbling, and that doesn't do anyone any good. And I'm going to try to, I'll see how it goes, speak louder. I feel like last time, there's the microphone isn't the greatest, so I gotta boost its volume while decreasing the game's volume, and even then it's a little quiet at times, but learning as I go. So anyway, we are back, continuing with this playthrough. For some reason I was thinking that was the way to go, but my memory has failed me. Oops. That happens a lot in old Half-Life. G-Man sighting with his own, in case, and this probably comes clarified in the story later on, but the G-Man has his own special forces here in Zen and the dark HGV suits. We'll get to play with more of them later, and I think here's a journal on that subject now. I'm gonna try to read it slower. Number 10, Dark Designs. The Dark Symbioteless One possesses teleportation abilities. While we knew humans had figured out how to open portals, our scouts had reported of areas dominated by massive devices that take some time to generate a gateway. The fact that a single human can focus one where and as it wishes is simply remarkable. Is its brain more advanced than the others, or is this yet another example of what technology can do? This human is obviously a leader of some kind. While most of the humans look roughly similar, we believe that the colors of the devices they wear reflect their caste. Unfortunately, whatever caste system they have isn't similar to our own and thus defies simple categorization. We have never, though, come across these dark humans before. The symbioteless one is more powerful than we thought possible, and all the other dark ones seem to emanate violence. What we need to do is capture a variety of humans and study them in detail. The prefabricated facilities below, in which the white humans were located, would make perfect natural habitats. We could observe them with a much higher chance of unaltered behavior. Once I retrieve the XTBS, I will recommend we take this complex by force. If we're lucky, we may even snag one of the rare dark humans with it. White humans in this case being the scientists in their white lab coats. Also, nice design choice by Dave to have this extensive human, I don't want to call it settlement, let's call it research outpost, whatever, featuring a lot of definitely like prefabricated designs, which would make sense logically. One second, I'm adjusting my own monitor's gamma. My eyes are not so good anymore, so I'm making it brighter than it'll appear to you, but easier for me to see. Not any good for me to flail around blindly. I believe that is the XTBS right there that we're after. Falling into the G-Man's hands, or the G-Man's forces' hands.
My God, what are you?
Oh! Let's try that again. My bad, I remembered the explosives by one of the ladders. I forgot that these were the ones that were relevant, not the earlier ones. And just happened to be standing in a very unfortunate place at the time. So... yay? Memory? I was actually trying to go through this playthrough without dying, but I guess we can cross that off the list at this point.
My God, what are you?
Anywho. Number 11, opposing forces. Not again. Just as I find the XTBS in a secure location, it's uprooted. I don't understand. I had thought these dark humans were working with the others, but instead they're slaughtering everyone. None of the others appear to have committed any grievous acts, so this doesn't seem to be anything similar to a justifiable quelling. The Dark Ones simply appear to want the XTBS as badly as I do. Now that I think about it, these Dark Ones may very well be the equivalent of our own native enemies. Those with the one eye and four arms wouldn't be above doing such an act to us, and to humans it would probably appear as confusing as this is to me. Very well then, if they are like our native enemies, then I will slaughter them like our native enemies. Despite their desire for the XTBS, they fail to understand that it belongs to me. I will educate them. This puts a definite wrinkle in things, though. The Dark Ones are much more vicious and apparently more skilled in combat as well. Additionally, the organism keeping the XTBS unconscious requires a force field for energy. Without one, it can go several hours before weakening to the point where it can no longer contain the XTBS. But that's assuming it goes undisturbed. If the humans are poking and prodding the organism, the amount of time may drop drastically. I must hurry. The one eye and four arms, by the way, is referring to the enemies from Opposing Force, if you recall. That's the only game they ever appeared in, but they don't appear here. But that was just a little nod to the canon. Just gonna double check back this way. I know that some of the journal entries are off the beaten path, and I don't want to miss any in what is ostensibly a dev commentary / walkthrough, so. Alright, just wasted time. I know there are other actual walkthroughs or playthroughs on YouTube of this. Obviously, those won't have the dev commentary angle, but they will be faster. I'm definitely taking my time, stopping to talk about things, etc. 1 second before I go there. That was where the man was. Well, this is awkward. You gonna... Okay, gonna double back for a second. I'm not sure which is the right way to go. I know, however, there are chum toads down here. I was mentioning previously things off the beaten path, and if I'm not mistaken, this is one of them, but give me a sec. Alright, I believe chum toads, and a journal entry over here. There we go. Journal entry. Old chums. Chum toads are the only other natural creatures of Zen that have developed the ability to explode in self-defense. Unlike the spheres, which mix two reactive chemicals upon death, chum toads contain a liquid within their bodies that is combustible at high temperatures. The angrier chum toad gets, the hotter its internal temperature becomes. Males are naturally more aggressive than females and will often charge with little provocation. Hence why one of the three charged, but the other two didn't. Since females are responsible for the safety of the young, exploding is a last resort only. They are docile enough to pick up and can be used as organic weapons by squeezing them before releasing. The compression from all sides stimulates being devoured, which will send her into a blind rage towards the first living thing she sees. Like most biological weapons, caution must be used lest you turn back on our caster. Snarks, which are much more numerous and common than chum toads, are social creatures that will explode to protect their birthing sacs. They are not natural, however, but another of our experiments in which we combined our own base form genetic material with that of the chum toad. The result was a faster, albeit weaker creature that proliferates at a rate more similar to us than chum toads. So that brings us to 3 weapons. I'll try to use these at some point. You tend to favor your standard attack in the game, though, because those can turn back on you very easily, and there's no way for those to gain you any health. So often, you're relying on your electric attack for most of the mod. Anyway, back this way. Back this way. There's the XTBS in his hand. There goes the XTBS. This will be an ongoing theme in the game. Constantly chasing after whoever has the XTBS currently. There goes the XTBS again. Zaan's night vision's not great for long distance, only short range. I probably mentioned that in the last video. Apologize if I repeat anything too. Okay, we actually on to the next chapter here. Step into my parlor. Yeah. I'm generally recording these episodes about a week apart, so it's a question of how much I remember from my stream of consciousness musings last time. And there it goes again. And if I remember this part right, there is a very annoying turret or turrets up ahead that are going to light me up and force me to keep coming back to restock on health, so apologies for how long this is gonna take. There's one! Almost dead. And now the waiting game. I could go to the trouble of editing this out so you don't have to sit through this, but I can't be bothered. If I gotta sit through it, you gotta sit through it. And just take in the view. I was gonna say, you know, pretty, but graphics are not once they not what they once were. We've come a long way graphically. Grateful for these, but man, do they take a while. We lose a lot of health. Maybe I should have come back after only losing a little. I was pushing my luck there. Getting a little frustrated that I hadn't even taken out one of the 2 turrets. Let's try again. Ow. Okay, that did. Well, since we've got time to kill, I think one thing I should mention about how we developed Point of View. Dave and Toadman had the general idea of what they wanted. Certain things were already established when I came on board, like Zont's name, the XTBS, etc., super workers, that sort of thing. But Dave would release, in playtesting, some of the levels for us. And we'd play through. Well, I assume Toad would play through, but I'd play through. And give feedback to Dave. And then Dave would incorporate, or not, it was up to him, what changes he wanted to make, based on what he heard back. But that was also how the writing process went. We didn't have a set number of journal entries, we didn't have specific points where we wanted them to be. As I played through them, I would simply add a note to Dave about here's a place for a journal, right? Where the Shumtoads first appeared, we wanted to explain Shumtoads, so there was a journal created for that purpose. Every time I thought it was needed narratively, or to introduce a new weapon, or concept, like who's currently got the next DPS. Man. I don't remember these taking quite this level of beating. And I can't push my luck. So, yeah. Also, like, as we were playing, or as I was playing through, if I struggled for one reason or another, if I got lost, didn't know where to go, I might suggest putting in a journal entry to try to help players get back on track, assuming they would think the same way I thought. It's interesting, too, coming from that perspective of Dave making the levels versus me not. Like, obviously, he's more familiar with them than anyone, having created them. Ooh, finally got it. Oh my god, every time I get hit, right as I'm about to fire, my aim pops up. And I miss. I'm not gonna push my luck any further on this one. Getting frustrated, taking too many risks. But yeah, as Dave was the level designer, he was obviously familiar with it on a level that no one else is going to have. Someone like me coming in and playing through it, therefore would have a fresh set of eyes, would not, make the same assumptions about what was obvious and what wasn't that he might have. So it was an interesting collaborative process. There we go. Oh my god. I don't recall exactly, but I feel like that might be the most annoying part of the mod. Like, just dealing with that and healing. I'm not going through that again. Malice in Wonderland. What have we here? A hidden entrance, heavy defenses, and a structure that looks to be more entrenched than the last one. These dark humans appear to have been here much longer than the others. Much longer. Much longer, in fact, than we believed any humans had been here. This facility must have taken a very long time and a great deal of effort to create. How could something like this happen without alerting us? While I don't care for humans much beyond a scientific respect, I most certainly do not... I believe there's a T there that's cut off by the scroll here. I do not like these dark ones. The treachery all this seems to imply is absolutely sickening. Not only did they manage to hide under our noses in a spectacular fashion, but also they slaughter other members of their own species for little reason. Why they would be so interested in XBS is beyond me, but I won't let them keep it long enough to sate that interest. Shudder. I don't know how to read stage direction out loud. Despite the malleability of our species, we cannot simply change instantaneously. It has been some time since I've encountered any overseers to tell my symbiote to reward my diligence. As such, I'm beginning to feel the first effects of a longing for approval. This is not like the sadness that can be instituted upon us, but a deeper feeling, a void that desperately needs to be filled. The sooner this is over, the better. Narratively, one of the things we were trying to do with the mod is sort of this concept of emotional slavery that the slave crawlers, Zont and the other Vortigaunts wear, allow Nihilanthe to control them, like, at an emotional level, to make you feel happy if you do things you're supposed to, and sad if you don't do what you're supposed to. I see you. Ow. And that's something you'll see like, further explored. The whole idea of not slavery, but like gun to the head kind of slavery, like do as you're told or else, but manipulating you on an emotional level to want to be a slave. And as that previous journal entry indicated, even from a level design standpoint, you notice how I mentioned the Black Mesa research outpost was much more, what's the word for it? I just had it a minute ago. Prefabricated? That this is much more, this took a lot longer time to build, and you're seeing that reflected in the architecture, the implications narratively behind it, including, for that matter, the fact that there's an entire frickin' train system they've got built here. On which we are now going to go for a ride. Gotta say, I love a good train level. So I'm very happy that Dave put this in. Not something I requested, but just a happy coincidence. Point of fact, I don't think I ever... Like, I made suggestions in the feedback process, and I was always thrilled when Dave would, you know, actually implement what I had recommended, but that was just it. I never demanded anything. I'd point out, oh, wouldn't this be cool? And then, wouldn't you know it, Dave would do it, and it was awesome, I gotta tell you. Just throw something out there, and then turns out, next playtest, the next iteration, it was in there. Very grateful. always known... Okay, hang on, actually. It's kind of loud in here. I'm going to try... Oh, I'm on a train. It's going to be loud anywhere. Hellbound. We've always known that the humans have been capturing and studying our kind, just as they know we've been capturing and studying theirs. It's only natural to be curious about your enemy, and we generally accept it as a consequence of war. But this, to see my fellow's innocence in the hands of the Dark Humans, knowing what they're capable of doing to their own kind. And what if this enormous transport I find myself on? The endeavor required to create a tunnel of this size boggles the mind. My earlier estimates of when these Dark Humans first came to our world appear to be too recent. Assuming that the tunnel leads to another well-established facility, I fear that these Dark Humans may have been here long before we even knew the Great Invasion was upon us. It is no stretch of the imagination to suspect that they are more of my kind held hostage at their destination. While I do not know if I can save them, I will certainly enjoy wreaking as much havoc as possible on the Dark Humans who will imprison them. The Dark Humans have probably never seen a super worker before, nor had the offensive taken against them in their own facility. The looks soon to be frozen on their dead faces will be priceless. XTBS.
That's why I'm here. I'm impressed.
You know what could be fun? That was... There we go. There we go. Yep. Oh, let's read this one off. Number 15, all change. The Dark Leader again. How does it breathe in our environment? The others so obviously must rely on their technological symbiotes. My dislike and fear of this human continues to grow with each encounter. What else can it do? It seems that every time it appears it has a new trick up its sleeve. Some new ability to shatter everything without humanly capable of. I wonder if the Dark Leader's respiratory system is at all similar to our own. We have been designed to naturally accomplish what the human symbiotes perform. The breathing tubes on either side of our heads act as filters capable of blocking most harmful aerosols. As such, we can respire in almost any environment. The only atmospheres we can't breathe are those made of liquid, but this hasn't become a large enough issue to bother implementing yet. And there, the XTBS. Remembering when this journal first appeared, I hadn't actually seen it for so long that I was beginning to worry. I would imagine that the battle at the production facility has ended by now, so the Overseers must have informed the Great Tailon about the XTBS. It seems he has decided to spare me for now. I have no reason to believe he will do so indefinitely. It is good then that the XTBS is almost within my grasp. Shudder again. Every time he shudders, he's feeling the effects of withdrawal from the emotional slavery I mentioned. Oh yeah, and here are my buddies breaking out. Gonna let them take points in case there's anyone they're gonna exactly blunder into. Well, this is not going well. that was unfortunate. I was talking about them helping me out, and then they just got behind me, and every time I tried to back up to get out of the gunfight, I was bumping into them, so thanks for that. Could have gone better. Could have gone worse. I mean, I'm still alive. But... yeah, I was gonna say I feel bad about that, but no, you guys got in my way. That's on you. Almost died there. So... haven't saved in a while. So... that would have sucked. You didn't do anything, friend. You hung back. So, you just tend to the mess. I'll proceed ahead. Checking my clock. Getting pretty close to being done with this episode. We'll see how much farther I push it. I hear... yep. More Stuka bats. I did just say... wait, hang on. I have a feeling, if I remember this right, there's turrets at least to the right. Yes, there are! How many of these do I have? Only 2. I believe these will go after the turrets, which will help. Which maybe, kind of in hindsight, I probably should have done that against those turrets earlier that were giving me so much trouble. Hey, but let's see. Actually, ow. Yep, I knew there was a heat pool over here. Alright, we're gonna give this a whirl. See if this does me any good. No. No, it did not. Chum toads? I only have the one chum toad. That seems like a waste. Stuka bats. I've got 3. I guess I can try. Well, I got 1 at least. Don't think that did me a whole lot of good, honestly. I could throw my last chum toad at him. I don't know if that'd be wasteful. But then again, what am I saving it for? And thankfully none of the Stukas turned on me. Give it a sec, chummy. That did absolutely nothing. Yep, you ran into a wall. Bravo. Which one is still standing? I mean, to be fair, there were 3. Scientist. There were 3, so, you know, I mean, 2 of them got taken out by Stuka bats. But that still seemed awfully wasteful. Yeah, but at the same time, it doesn't do me any good to hold on to them, so you guys don't get to see them. Ah! Not gonna lie, that startled me. I got baited, saw the open container, turned to look to see what goodies were inside. No goodies. No journal entries. Just lost a few points of health. Props to Dave. Props to Dave. Plenty of ambushes. Sorry. I was gonna say, do I push my luck and press on without stocking up on my health? But I'm close to max. This will only take a second. And if I remember this right, let me see. Yeah, this is another example of, well, a couple things. One, love the detail. Definitely someone around. You're not a threat, but if I need the help, I'll come back for it. But yeah, simultaneously love the level of detail that Davis put in here, while at the same time, so many doors, and so easy to get lost, and not knowing which is the right way to go. Is it this way? Is it that way? More doors. Have I been there before? Have I not? So many doors. Missed. Ah, boy. I don't wanna... God, I'm getting turned around. Which of the checkered floor patterns, like... Okay, yeah, now this is where I came in, sorry. I was going to say, thankfully locked, I believe that's the way we need to go. Reason being, this is one of those examples I mentioned, where, as I played this initially in playtesting, I got very lost as I was getting down. And I ended up putting in a note pointing out something that Dave put in the level, was that the sectors are marked with colored lines on the wall, and that's how you know where you're going, that to follow the lines. So I believe in that, if that theory holds true, all this over here is just a dead end. It doesn't lead you anywhere, actually. But let's put that to the test. God, there's so many voices around me. Alright, this one leads to here. Which leads to here. That's a grenade. Alright, hang on. Don't want to get ahead of myself. This is where I came in, therefore this is... There's two doors to check. There's the women's restroom. Alright. And then there's this, which is storage. Which I believe all these doors are just for show. Don't actually lead anywhere. A dead end, as I mentioned. Okay. Let me check what looked like the cafeteria. More or less. One by one. This area seems familiar to me. In fact, the entire layout of the facility teases me, like the most insubstantial ethers. Probably should have been ethers. Ethers? Caressing me as it drifts through the vast reaches of Zen. Distant memories buried in half-forgotten portions of our mind bloom to life ever so briefly, fading once their message has been imparted. Memories of our heritage, the species we once were, eons ago. We were a social order of life forms, focused around a single reproductive female. We lived underground, digging out tunnels and communicating via chemical signals. We consisted of a square body held perpendicular to the ground, 4 simple legs supporting it. A 5th limb designed for graphing. Oh, no. That should be designed. I hate finding errors. I was fairly diligent in my editing and proofreading whatnot. I didn't remember missing that one. That hurts. Designed for grasping, lay centered on the bottom while a blind head on a flexible neck rested on top. Like this place I find myself in now, we would stockpile our foodstuffs in specific chambers for later consumption. One day, our ancestors figured out we could share our minds through more advanced chemical communication. By combining all the members of Hive into one large cell, we essentially could form a single complex brain. Their priority came procreation, the cause, so that the brain could grow, and this ultimately led to the development of telepathic ability. From there came telepathic genetic manipulation, or malleability. First for the development of lungs, so we could grow large enough to be telepathic individually, then to the creation of the great Nihilanthe, and ultimately to the rest of us. Kitchen. Okay. But yeah, notice all this was a dead end. And in playtesting, if I noticed things like this, where it felt like, what was even the point of going this way, I would throw in a journal entry, so you wouldn't feel like it was a total waste of your time. Again, something that came about through playtesting. Office area. I haven't been here yet. Okay, you just sit tight. Okay, that's not what sitting tight means. Excuse me. Alright, yeah. Back to where I started. Colored lines on the walls. Yeah, dude, lead the way. Okay, you're really testing my patience. Guy, please. I will zap you. I will zap you or claw you. I used up the Stukas and the... Alright, really? Move. Thank you. Like I said, I don't want to waste your time. Alright, back to this. I might, you know what? Call it here on this episode for now. I forget how long this section is, and there's definitely going to be quite a bit of us following colored lines on the walls and exploring dead ends and so on and so forth. So we will come back to this next time. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next episode.